Um, my name is Anne Marie Starr. Okay, I'm from the States. I'm from Indiana. I don't know if you know Indiana. It's near Chicago. I've lived in Egypt now for about 25 years. So no, 22 years. I've been Muslim for 25 years.
And Mary Scott. ستوك. أنا عايشة في مصر بقالي 22 سنة، مسلمة بقالي أكتر من 25 سنة، كنت عايشة في أمريكا وعايشة في حتة اسمها أنديانا. أنت أنديانا؟
Yeah, it's near Chicago.
قرب شيكاغو.
My husband is Egyptian.
زوجي مصري.
He's a professor of electrical engineering.
هو مهندس في الهندسة الكهربائية. One University.
He was originally in Helwan and now he's at MSA. I don't know
هو
if you
كان
know
في
MSA.
حلوان ودلوقتي في جامعة MSA.
Yeah. And I have 7 children.
كان 7 أولاد.
And 4 grandchildren.
و4 أحفاد. Your grandmother.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. So I'm a Jew.
No, you're not. So, beginning here, we're going to have a conversation about Islam. So describe your feelings and tell us the moment that you decide to have the decision to begin to transform yourself from non-Muslim to a Muslim. هنتكلم دلوقتي عن لحظة انت قررت فيها تحول نفسك من غير مسلمة لمسلمة. What made you make this decision?
Okay.
I know.
Well, I went to college, and when I went to college, I was older, and so I met some older students. And among these older students was my future husband. He was Egyptian, studying his master's, or finishing his master's, getting ready to study his PhD. And I tried. We were at a festival. It was called the Feast of the Hunter's Moon. So it was a festival for the American Indians, and they were selling pork. Pork. And I tried to give Muhammad a piece of pork, and he said, "I don't eat pork." And so I said, "Why? Are you a Jew?" I thought he was a Jew, Muslim. And he said, "No, I'm a Muslim." So actually, I was like, "What's a Muslim?" I didn't know.
هي بتقول ان هي قابلت زوجها في امريكا في احتفال كان بيتعمل للهنود الحمر، بيتوزع فيه قطع لحمه. قطع اللحمه دي كانت عزمت على زوجها اللي هو كان هيبقى زوجها، واحد من الطلبه اللي اكبر منها في السن، فعزمت عليه قطع من لحم الخنزير، فهو رفض ياكلها. فهي سالته هل انت ليه؟ هل انت يهودي؟ لان اليهود والمسلمين هم الديانات الوحيده اللي بترفض اكل لحم الخنزير. فلا لا انا مسلم.
So this is the first time that I heard about Islam at all, because I'm from a small town. Everybody's white, everybody's Christian. No one is outside of this very narrow community.
هي بتقول ان هي من قريه، والقريه دي صغيره، كل الناس اللي فيها ناس بيض، ناس مسيحيين كلهم، ومفيش اي وجود لديانات اخرى. فبالتالي ما كانش عندها اي اطلاع بديانات اخرى غير ديانه مسيحيه، فكان شيء غريب بالنسبه لها ان هي عايزه تتعرف على الاسلام. So he convinced you to be a Muslim?
No. Actually, we were in the same, you call it a shalwa. So sometimes we would do activities, we would go places and things, and he never asked me to be a Muslim. No. Actually, he started to get to know me, we started to get to know each other, and right away he asked me to marry him.
طيب بتقول اول حاجه ان زوجها ما عرضش عليها ان هي تبقى مسلمه، كانوا بيتعاملوا مع بعض بواسطه انشطه تنظمها لهم الجامعه وحاجات زي كده ومهرجانات، وهم كانوا بيحضروا المهرجانات دي مع بعض. ففجاه كده زوجها عرض عليها ان هي تتزوج. At the time he asked you to marry you, were you a Christian or Muslim?
No, I was raised.
Sorry, في الوقت اللي عرض عليكي الزواج هل كنت مسيحيه او كنت مسلمه؟
Yeah, I was raised Catholic, so I had left the Catholic Church. I had decided I didn't like it, and people were telling me to go and try other churches. So I tried some other Christian religions, but I didn't like them. And so I said to myself, out of deen. I'm out of the religion thing. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm just gonna not do anything.
هي كانت طائفة كاثوليك المسيحيين. الطائفة دي كانت هي تقريبا ايه ساهمت الشعائر بتاعتها، ما عرفتش تتواصل معاها، فبالتالي ناس من الناس من اصحابها المسيحيين نصحوها ان هي تنضم تفضل تبع الكنيسة بس في طوائف اخرى او مع ناس اخرين. فهي جربت طوائف اخرى وجربت ضمن المسيحية نفسها لحد ما هي قررت ان هي تجرب ديانة اخرى هي ديانة الاسلام. So, have you read something about Islam before you meet your husband?
No.
هل قرأت شيئا عن الإسلام قبل أن تلتقي زوجك؟ لا.
I didn't know anything about Islam at all. I didn't know it was there. Yeah, I didn't know it was there.
So, the moment that you decided to be a Muslim, your parents, your family didn't have any reaction. اللحظة اللي قررتي تبقي فيها مسلمة، هل كان لأهلك أو ناس البيئة المحيطة بيك أي رد فعل؟
Well, of course. I mean, first of all, I married my husband. I mean, after I knew him 2 weeks, he asked me to marry him. And so 2 weeks later, I agreed and we got married all of July.
So married you and you were a Christian?
Yes. And not only was I Christian, but I have 2 daughters from a previous marriage. So I was divorced. I was returning to university. I had 2 little girls. They were, I think, 1 and 3. They were very small. And after we got married, I started to watch him. Okay, so I watched him. He was praying. So I'm like, what are you doing? He's reading Quran. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you dressing like this? What are you saying? I was watching him. And Ramadan came, he was fasting. Why are you fasting? Tell me about this. And I would have questions. And every time I had questions, he would try to answer me. Or he would go to the masjid and try to get someone to help me, you know? Or he would get books and translate them for me. He would put the books in English, them very, very few. Very few.
عن طريق الإسلام هي كانت قابلت زوجها واتعرض عليها بعد معرفتها بأسبوعين الزواج، فتزوجها وهي كانت على الديانة المسيحية. فأثناء زواجهم هي لاحظت زوجها ليه عادات وتقاليد مختلفة زي الصيام في نهار رمضان، زي الصلاة، فكان كل فعل أو كل حاجة من عادات المسلمين كانت بتسأله ليه بتعمل كده؟ إيه سر بتعمل كده؟ فهو كان بيجيب لها كتب وبيترجمها لها وكان بيعمل تعريف الإسلام ليها لحد ما هي اقتنعت بيه. So your husband was a model, like
a model, and he never asked me to be Muslim. Never. Yeah.
يعني زوجها كان نموذج للمسلم الصالح وعمره ما أجبرها أو حرضها أو غير من أفكارها إن هي تبقى مسلمة. يعني إسلامها كان عن اقتراع تام.
Now we did make an agreement we would raise his children as Muslims. That's it.
بس الاتفاق الوحيد ساعة الزواج إن احنا نربي الأطفال التانيين غير اتفاقنا من الزواج السابق على الإسلام.
Yeah.
That's good. So about the reaction of your family.
Yeah.
Ask me about your parents or your mother or your father. Oh, I want to be a Muslim.
Right.
What's the reaction? إيه رد الفعل بتاع والدك أو والدتك أو أي حد من بيعمل؟
Well, I spent a year with my husband learning about Islam, and it took about a year before I decided to become Muslim. And the day I took my Shahada, I said to myself, if I really believe in this Quran and I believe in Islam, then I don't have any problem to follow its rules, okay? So I actually believed, before I took Shahada, I believed in Islam maybe 2 or 3 months. But I myself didn't want to be a Muslim because I thought being a Muslim is too hard, really. It's too hard, and I didn't want to do all that. So I waited until I knew I couldn't wait any longer, and I became Muslim. So the day I became Muslim, the day I started to pray, and it's the day I started to wear hijab.
No, but your parents.
So I think the biggest thing when I became Muslim was my appearance to my parents wearing the hijab. Okay, going to them like this was shocking.
Or what was the reaction, the look on their face? Sorry, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
خلال الفترة اللي فاتت كانت عندها تقريبا ايه؟ كانت بعد ما هي قررت ان تدخل في الاسلام كان عندها صراع داخلي، يعني هي شايفة ان موضوع ان هي تدخل في الاسلام ده شايفة حاجة صعبة، سواء ان هي بتدخل مرة عن مرة او تلاقي ان في حاجات ممكن تعوقها ان هي تبقى مسلمة، لكن اول ما خدت قرار ان هي تبقى مسلمة كان طبعا منظر صادم لأهلها. What's the appearance on their face? Have you tried to convince you to reverse your decision? هل حاولوا إثنائك عن قرارك وتبعدون عن الإسلام؟
No, not really. But they didn't ask me to go back to being a Christian, but of course the reaction was more towards the hijab. This is what I mean to say. They wanted me just to take this off. Their feelings.
رد فعلهم كان على الحجاب، ان هم كانوا عايزينها تشيل الحجاب لان هو منظر مكان غير مألوف بالنسبه لهم، لكن بخصوص ان هي ترجع عن ديانتها ما عرضوش